But then, shifting gears to our final story today is just this horrible news coming out of Georgia. Right? Because reportedly a shooter opened fire at Apalachee High School in Georgia, about 50 miles outside of Atlanta. And according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, 4 are dead and 9 others are injured. The Bureau also adding that they've taken the suspect into custody alive, despite some earlier reports that the shooter had been killed on scene. Also, as far as more details, there was actually a press briefing that happened just as I was finishing up today's show, with law enforcement naming the shooter and identifying them as a 14-year-old student who will be charged and handled as an adult. Also, regarding the 4 people who were killed, 2 were students and 2 were teachers. Also, as far as how the shooter was taken in, they gave a brief timeline, saying at 10:20 a.m. they received alerts about reports of an active shooter, saying within minutes police were on the scene and 2 school resource officers were already there, and they immediately encountered the shooter, at which time they say the shooter immediately surrendered. Now that said, more information still likely to come, and some outlets have already reported on what was going down inside the school during and after the shooting. You had a coroner describing to the Washington Post how they had to go from classroom to look for bodies. Reports also saying the priority on the ground was releasing students back to their families. Also, schools in the surrounding area were placed on a soft lockdown, but they were later set to release their students. Some students have also spoken to news outlets about what happened, with one telling ABC.
The announcements came on, and that's when they were like it's a hard lockdown, intruder drill, and then we were all like kids started crying, kids started freaking out, everybody was just there. This is all sad because people, I know my sister knows one of the kids that got shot. And it's we all know these people, and this is a community.
You know, with this, you have a lot of people speaking out. You had Governor Brian Kemp saying he directed all available state resources to Apalachee High, as well as urging everyone to pray for the safety of those in our classrooms. You also had Representative Mike Collins, whose district includes the area the high school is in, saying he is praying for the students and their families. But there's also, as he's now facing a ton of backlash, as back in 2022, he posted a video of himself holding a gun while accusing the Democrats of stealing the presidential election and claiming Trump won Georgia, and then telling Biden to overhaul voting systems before doing this.
Well, if they won't do it, Mike Collins will. Send me to Washington. I'll fix this election.
And so with that clip now going viral in the wake of the shooting, you have people saying things like, I'm sure this douchebag will make some bullshit speech about thoughts and prayers, but it's obvious he doesn't give a fuck about gun control. As well as, fuck this asshole, blood is on his hands. Right? And as we often see in the aftermath of these horrible things that consistently happen here, gun reform is already a major topic right now as a result. But for now, especially with this being a developing situation, we'll be looking out for updates and talking about them when we get them.